welcome to your NHL Preview Extravaganza. Joined with me, Chris Miller, is the fine, my right-hand man, Dan Fabrizi. It's good to get the NHL season underway.
Excited, man. I'm excited.
Great first week of hockey, and we're going to give you the preview of a lifetime here on the Big Hit, and we're going to start out with the Western Conference. Of course, the Western Conference, with how deep of a conference it actually is, a lot of great teams in the conference, and of course, Detroit obviously was atop of the Western Conference last year, winning the Stanley Cup over Pittsburgh in 6 games, of course, and we're going to start off right with them. This year there were some changes, and Dan, first of all, there was a key piece added to this year's squad, and who would that be?
Yeah, I think everybody knows who that guy is. The best got better. They picked up one of the top 3 offensive defensemen in the league in Marian Hossa. Hossa shocked everybody by taking the 1-year contract, and he goes to Detroit, and he's going to help them in all aspects of their game. He's going to add more depth to a team that's already 4 lines deep. He's going to help with puck possession. He's going to help in the neutral zone. He's going to help clog up that neutral zone. Like, you know, they did so well against the Penguins in the Cup Finals. Hossa is, I mean, you can say what you want about him, but he adds a dimension to that team that if it doesn't put him over the top, then something internally is going to happen. Because if Detroit doesn't win the Cup with the team they have, then it's going to be something. But with him coming over, it just puts them over the top.
Yeah, as you see on the graphic there, number 3 offense last year, number 1 defense last year. Those numbers on the offensive side, you think they're going to rise this year?
And defense, the way he plays 2 ways, when the way he back checks and he forechecks, the defense will be better than they were last year, which is hard to imagine.
And if you look at his last 5 years in the league, of course, with Ottawa, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and now joining Detroit, this guy is a guy who's going to put up near 100 points.
Yeah, he's proven.
And this year, he might go over the 100-point mark, but there might be some issues with this year's Detroit squad. Do you have any issues for it?
The big question on my mind is goaltending. Can Osgood and Conklin carry them throughout the whole season? I know Osgood carried them through the playoffs, which I didn't think was going to happen, but he did play well enough to get him the Cup. But I just see a hole in that goaltending, and I just don't know if Osgood is good enough to carry them through.
And they got the backup Ty Conklin, who did well for Pittsburgh last year, but of course, was he a 1-year hit wonder? We don't know.
Right.
He did do well in Edmonton, but when he got tested last year, he did well. But will he do well his second straight year in Detroit? We're going to find out this year because he will get his starts. All right, let's move on into the Pacific Division. Probably the best division in all of hockey. 3 great teams. We're going to start off with the Dallas Stars, who got into the Western Conference Final and then lost to Detroit in that series. Not many moves in the offseason, Dan, to mention, but in general, what do you think about this year's squad?
I think they bring back a team that can compete. They can get back to the Western Finals. I mean, if you look up the middle with Ribeiro, Richards, and Madonna, it doesn't get much better than that in the league. And a great goaltender in Turco. They have solid defense. I mean, Dallas, they're going to be a team that's going to give Detroit problems throughout the year, for sure.
All right, and moving on to some other teams in that division, obviously you have 2 more teams that are pretty good in their own outright. Is San Jose, who have had some rough goings in past playoff experiences, but they do bring a squad that can put 100 points in this league. What do you think about them?
Yeah, they lost their coach because of it, all that postseason failure. But, they shored up their blue line. They have one of the best blue lines in the league with adding Dan Boyle from Tampa Bay and then adding Jason Blake, too. So you really shored up their blue line. Maybe that'll help them get over the hump this year, since they haven't in the past couple of years. It's a lot of expectations, they just fallen short.
They consistently make the playoffs, but can they take that next step?
Right.
And maybe get to a NHL Finals season. And finally, in this division, top to bottom, great division, but Anaheim. Last year had some scoring troubles. One of the worst scoring teams in the league, despite defensively having one of the best defenses in the league, obviously. So what have they done anything in the offseason?
Well, Brendan Morrison will help them shore up. It'll help them up the middle, and you got Jiggy in goal, and you have, like you said, a shutdown defense. But I just don't know if that's going to be enough in the Western Conference to put them over the top. But Brendan Morrison will help them up the middle.
Okay, quickly, let's talk about 2 teams. A young team, maybe reminiscent of the Penguins, not merely the superstar prowess that the Penguins had a couple years ago, but there are some superstars growing in Chicago.
Right. Oh yeah, they're going to be the hot team, I think, in the West this year. They're going to give Detroit problems in that division. You look at their young guns, Kane, Taves, and Patrick Sharp. They're going to be good. And when you bring over Cristobal Uwe to shore up your goaltending, then you have a Brian Campbell, who is one of the best defenses in the league. They could be looking at a complete team this year. And like I said, they're in the wrong division, but they're going to give Detroit problems.
All right, quickly, let's roll into our top 5 picks for this year's Western Conference. If you have someone we didn't mention, go ahead and explain. But let's go ahead and give you your top.
Okay, I got at 5, I got Anaheim. At 4, I got Dallas. 3, I got Calgary over Edmonton in that division. You know, Mike Camilleri coming over is going to add a lot more offense to that team. At 2, I got the San Jose Sharks, and at 1, I'm going to take Detroit. But Detroit better watch out for that 8 seed because it could be an Edmonton team that's going to give them problems in the playoffs.
All right, let's take a look at the graphic here because I'm coming out, and I'm going to say San Jose, number 5. All right, Anaheim, number 4. As I said on the big hit before, they're my Stanley Cup pick. Then you got Edmonton will defeat Calgary in that division. Dallas, number 2. And, of course, you can't go wrong. Don't bet against Detroit because they're going to put up points again this year. All right, that was our Western Conference, but we are just getting started. The Eastern Conference, we will be getting hot and heavy into that one a little later on in the show. But for now, we're going to take a break. But coming up next, we get back into football. So stay with us. We'll be right back.